Hi everyone, it's Sunday, July 28th, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Dordick. Starting with Europe again this week, our editor Andrea Guolo reports that people in Italy's tanning district can't wait for their summer vacations so they can get away from the depressing level of business for a while. In the UK and Ireland, 36 plus hides are generally steady, with most decent sized sales at 70 cents per kilo and the small lots being sold as high as 75 cents per kilo, and that's in euros. On the European cow front, prices were nearly stable for all European hides, with marginal decreases for just a few origins. The price stability has been supported by the lower beef consumption that's a result of the searingly hot temperatures that much of Europe has been experiencing this summer. And the bull market was quiet last week. In this week's commentary, Andrea takes a closer look at the closing weeks of the market before the summer holiday, presents the expectations for the return of business in September, and examines the trend of brands taking control of their supply chains. Also, we want to remind you that given the Italian tannery closures that will start by the 8th of August, the European report will be on hiatus after next weekend's August 2nd issue. We'll resume in September with an abbreviated update on the European market before ACLE in Shanghai. Turning to the United States, packers continued to hold steer prices firm, and in one case, they boosted the price by a few dollars. Sellers say that they're turning away bids on some popular steers because they just don't have them available. With regard to heavy Texas steers, there was again very little trading, and sales prices were steady to the high end of last week, with the one trade at $26 on 62-64 pound averages. News from the cow sector continues to be bleak, with bids, let alone sales, on the lower end, selections being few and far between. With regard to U.S. slaughter, the week totaled 651,000, and some packers noted they had sold more than a full week's worth of hides. We had a surprising export report this week, with combined export sales of 726,400 and shipments at 720,000, both well above slaughter. Despite the healthy numbers, there was a great deal of skepticism in the market about the accuracy, and that the figure probably included a proportion of late reporting from the previous week. With the steer market so firm, this week's market observations take a look at the current steer situation and some other opinions on why this is not likely a solid footing for a higher U.S. market. From Brazil, editor Ronald Guiel reports that TR1 was steady this week at 47 cents per square foot, and raw hides were generally stable with a nominal decrease of 1 cent in reals. He notes that with August and its European holidays, the market remains quiet with no major changes, but it's still being affected by some external economic factors, which he details. In other news items from Brazil, Minerva cut its loss in the second quarter. Marfrig might be buying a frigorifico in a neighboring country, and meat exports are up in July. From elsewhere in Latin America, we have news that Argentina's footwear sales dropped 17.2% in 2019. We have a story about Colombia's overstocked tanneries and the continued push by Mexico's footwear industry to mitigate the declining tariffs on imported shoes. So that's all we have for today, and until next week, good night from HideNet.